Hey guys, Mike here again. So it's Monday. I'm gonna promise that I'll keep this video shorter than the last one. So I want to give you some details of what the diet entails. It's day one for me, May 16th. Um, I got on the scale this morning. I was 208, so that's my start weight for the diet. Um, what I didn't mention the first time is as far as the proteins in the meats, you have to be sure that it's all lean. It has to be fat free. It has to be all lean meats. If you, for instance, buy pork chops, you should get the center cut because that usually tends to have the least fat. Or if you get the end parts, just make sure you trim all the fat off. Steaks, again, as lean as possible that you can find. If you're gonna buy ground beef, I would suggest that you pick your steaks and just bring them to the butcher and let him ground them for you, so you be sure that you have the least fat. Because I would imagine that to make burgers, it'll be awesome, but you have to be sure that they are lean. Um, you can have all fish. You can have shellfish, also, and basically you have to be sure that you take a tablespoon and a half of oat bran every day, which I never even heard of before. It turns out I thought it was oatmeal. It turns out that it's actually the outer shell of the oatmeal, and he has several suggestions of how to take it. He actually has a recipe for some kind of pancake that he makes out of it, which kind of sounds pretty good because there's you can put an egg and there's several recipes in the book, which is why I suggest get the book. Believe me, if you are looking to get into this, the book goes into a lot of details, a lot of recipes, and he tells you different ways to season the meats so that you don't get bored. I actually ended up buying quite a few seasons yesterday when I went to the supermarket. I bought parsley, basil, dill, which I never heard of, thyme, oregano, pretty much. I think I bought like 10 different spices, and also mustard. I found a low fat mustard that he also recommends, and I also found a low sodium teriyaki sauce, which I wouldn't use a whole lot of it, but it certainly gives it a little kick. And I also I'm gonna use lemons. You can also use garlic, and you can use onions. So you're gonna be able to season the meats in lots of ways so that you don't get bored. Because, like I said, I'm planning on doing all 10 days of full protein. So, eating meat like 3 times a day, it's gonna start to get a little dull if you don't get a little creative. So my suggestion is play around with the spices and stuff. Um, Another thing I didn't mention was one of the things that's part of the diet is that you have to walk 20 minutes a day. So whether you do it in the morning, in the evening, he wants to be sure that you walk at least 20 minutes a day. Also, you have to drink a lot of water. You have to drink at least a quart and a half of water, and you should always drink water with each meal. He recommends. You're gonna have tea. You can also have diet soda. I stopped drinking sodas for like 3 months now. Um, and I drank diet soda when I did drink soda. But he recommends also if you want to have diet Coke or diet any kind of diet soda, he actually recommends it because he says that if you have a sweet tooth, it'll kind of kill the craving for the sweets. You just have to be sure that it doesn't have more than 1 calorie. And pretty much all sodas are calorie free. Diet sodas, that is. So you should be good to go with that. But you should really stick to the water because the water is going to really help you flush your kidneys. And trust me, when I tell you, you want to flush your kidneys. You do not want to get kidney stones. It is the worst thing in the world. Um, Another thing I wanted to tell you today, there is a site that he actually has. The way I found it was I searched on the Dukan diet chart, and you're able to put your information. So you're able to put like your weight, your gender, your age, your height, and give you put in the amount of weight that you want to lose, and what they do, and this is going to look backwards, but just so you can get some idea, if you actually look on YouTube, there's some other people that posted it so that you could see it more clearly. But what this is going to show you is, it's going to show you the first 5 days. For instance, here he's suggesting 5 days. I want to do the 10 of pure protein. And then the second phase, so that would be the attack phase. Then the second phase, which is the cruise phase, is the one where you're really going to be losing all the weight. And that's where you're going to alternate 1 day pure protein, 1 day protein, and vegetables. When I get to that phase, I'll talk a little bit more into detail as far as the vegetables that you're allowed. Um, Once you reach your goal, then you're gonna go into this phase that's called consolidation phase, where I haven't read the entire book yet. I know that it has something to do with so that your body is ready to adjust to the weight that you are now, and then finally you're gonna have the final phase where I have no clue what goes on, but I know that some good stuff goes on because I think it's only 1 day of protein, and you have 2 days where you could eat just about anything you want. Um, but anyway, in my chart, it's basically telling me that if I starting today at 209, which is what I had entered that I was the last time I had jumped on the scale, it says that I should lose 5 pounds by day 5, and but I want to do 10, so let's see how far that goes. And then when I go into the cruise phase, fingers crossed, it says that by December 1st, I would have lost 56 more pounds, which will bring me to 148, which is kind of where I'd like to be. So this is kind of a cool tool to be able, and you can actually, you don't have to join his site. You're able to print this, and just to, kind of use it as an inspiration, I guess. But it's a pretty cool chart to get. And also, one of the things that I wanted to do myself is I feel, and I work in a hospital, so I hear this a lot, that anytime you're gonna put your body into a drastic change, where you're gonna be changing the way you eat, or you're gonna be more active or whatnot, you really should have a checkup, and see where you're at. If you have high blood pressure or any kind of heart history in your family, it's good to check up, maybe with a cardiologist, and also get some blood work, which is what I did. Um, because I want to watch a lot of my labs as far as the blood work is concerned, because I take high blood medication. I have it checked every 6 months, so I want to see where I'm gonna be in 6 months on this diet. And I really want to keep an eye on my cholesterol, which is run right now 180, which is good. My triglycerides are 162, which is pretty good. I'd like to get that a little lower. Um, but my HDL and my LDL are a little bit off, so I want to see where that's gonna go. And I'm gonna keep an eye on everything else, which I'm not gonna get into details unless it changes, and I'll let you know how that goes. But basically, I recommend get the book, because the book, it's really not expensive, and it gives you a lot of detail and a lot of recipes and stuff that I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want to get into any kind of copyright issues. But I will definitely let you know what's going on. I am going to post another video on Saturday, which will have been completed 5 days for me. Um, and I'll let you know how it's going. Another thing I noticed is that maybe because the first time that I started searching this diet on YouTube, the book wasn't out yet, because I was researching this diet for about a month before the book even came out here in the United States. So I hadn't seen a whole lot of stuff on YouTube as far as people from America talking about it. There was a lot of French people, but now there is definitely several people on posting and whatnot. So, you know, check it out, because there's a lot of good stuff out there. There is some stuff on Facebook that that you can look into, um, and definitely try to find that site where you can make the chart, because if you're interested in doing it, it kind of gives you some perspective of what to expect. So let's see how it goes. Good luck, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.